Next speaker will describe how he helped build the world's largest job search engine. Jordan Dea-Mattson is a senior engineering director and site director of Indeed.com. And he also has a distinguished track record at Apple, Adobe, Yahoo, and Carousel. He's also involved heavily in Singapore's startup scene. And his topic today is building Indeed.com for cross-cultural impact and scale. Jordan, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan Dea-Mattson, and I want to be talking to you today about how Indeed works towards its mission. First slide, please. Second slide, please. Indeed's mission is really quite simple. We help people get jobs. That's at the core of everything that we do. And that is our focus as a company. It's our mission, and a mission that we really believe contributes to social good. Next slide, please. Indeed is, simply put, the world's largest job search engine. In any given month, we have 250 million plus job seekers on the platform, searching across 40 million jobs from around the world. And it's real simple. You see what's here. You put in what and where, and it starts connecting you with jobs. That's what it's about. That is really it is. It's us helping get people's jobs in the simplest way possible. Next slide, please. As I said at the top, at the center of everything we do is the job seeker. In fact, in every conference room at Indeed, we have an orange chair that is there to represent the job seeker. They're at the center of every decision we make. And when you're focused on social good, when you're focused on kind of doing great things for people, for a particular population, you do have to put them at the center of what you do. And when you do that, it does become costly. And I think this is an important thing. I'm very proud of two stories from Indeed's history about how we put job seekers at the center of everything we did. Back in 2008, Indeed, this is the Great Recession. Indeed is still a startup. It's only 4 years old. And we found out that the single largest advertiser on the platform, accounting for about 10% of the revenue, was running a fraud, a scam of job seekers. It was a, hey, you'd apply for a job that they had posted, that they'd advertised. And they say, hey, you're not a fit for that one, but we could give you some resume services and pay us some money and we'll do it. So Indeed actually cut them from the platform, cut off a major source of revenue, and also set up basically anti-fraud and security teams to ensure that these kind of things didn't happen in the future. Another story that makes me proud is when Indeed entered the Brazilian market a number of years ago. An interesting thing about that market is the dynamics were employers didn't pay anything. It was completely free for them. Job seekers had to pay to apply to jobs. So imagine you wanted to apply to a job, you had to pay money to do it. Indeed said, no, we've always put the job seeker at the center of what we do. We believe if we do that, good things will come from that. We believe it's the right thing to do. So we went ahead with the model that we use. And over a number of years, our presence in the market has actually changed the Brazilian market to one where the job seeker doesn't have to pay to apply, whether it's on Indeed or on other platforms. So, having this mission, a mission becomes concrete when you really take actions that put it at the center, actions that can cost. So we help people get jobs. We put the job seeker at the center. We focus on doing that in very concrete, very tangible ways that it has cost for us, but we believe it's a cost well paying. Next slide, please. I want to talk about 3 products that we've done that I think really fall under this rubric of tech for good, and that kind of indicate where we're going. When Indeed started, we were just simply online job classifieds. That was it. That was the sum total of the platform. And we built a very good business on that. But over time, we're trying to get closer and closer to the hire. We're trying to get more and more involved in helping people grow and develop their careers. To kind of to use the NTUC words, good jobs at good pay for a good life. Careers is part of that. And what you see here is a page from Indeed's careers. So careers.indeed.com, where what we do is we help someone see potential jobs that they could grow into, how to get there, what the pay will look like. All of these factors that can help them in making a rational, informed decision should they pursue this. This is an example for RNs, very important in today's current COVID environment. But any number of jobs are available here, and we show people, both what it can offer for them and what it will take to get there to help them make that transition to the next step in their career. And I think this is really important because it's helping people not just get the good job of the moment, but a better job that will give them a better life. Next slide, please. Another product and by the way, Careers was built in Singapore. It was developed in Singapore and is launched worldwide on Indeed. The next product I want to talk about is I2A, in particular, international Invite to Apply. What is Invite to Apply? Simply put, Invite to Apply is identifying jobs for which you may be qualified, in which you probably have an interest, and to which there are not a lot of applicants. So we're trying to take people, identify jobs where they're likely qualified, they're likely interested, and for which there aren't a lot of applicants, and matchmaking them with those opportunities. Now, in the US, this is done with some very sophisticated ML models, because in the US, we have literally hundreds of millions of applicants. We have hundreds of millions of jobs, literally billions of jobs that we can train the models on. But that's not the case in a lot of markets. In the US, people are much more willing to give profile data about themselves. That's not true in some markets. For example, in the German market, people are hesitant about what they'll tell you, what they'll share about themselves. So what we've had to do is we've had to take other approaches other than kind of the sexy, classic machine learning models trained on millions of data points to broker these connections and to do that. And this has been a very, very successful thing that we've launched in Germany and the Netherlands. In less than a year, we've gone to being 3% of what we call the apply starts in the German market. An apply start occurs when someone starts the process of applying for a job. It's one of our key metrics. And to go from 0 to 3% in a little under a year is a big, big growth for us. And again, international Invite to Apply is something that's being built in Singapore by a team that's in my organization. Can we go on to the next slide? Finally, is VIP, or virtual interviewing platform. And again, there's kind of a split here between what's being done in the US and some of the more developed markets and what we're doing in some of the developing or non-US markets. As you know, with the advent of COVID, in-person interviews is something that both sides aren't comfortable doing, job seekers and employers. They actually want to be separated in that process and not be caught up in that face-to-face interaction. Now, in the US, what we've built is we've built a interviewing platform around video interviewing, and where you have great bandwidth, great connectivity. This makes a lot of sense. But when you look at some of the developing markets of the world, places like India, it doesn't make as much sense because you don't have the data connectivity that you need. So what we've done is we've built a platform around WhatsApp and phone connections, not POTS because it's not classic plain old telephone service, but rather around cellular communications, connecting people. As you can see from this diagram, we actually over WhatsApp are able to make the appointment, to connect the person. They call in and we connect them and the conversation happens. We will exit next year at over 1 million interviews a month being brokered through the virtual interviewing platform. Next slide, please. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Once again, Indeed's mission is really simple. We help people get jobs. And for me, this is the foundation of why I'm at Indeed. Its mission. For me, throughout my career, it's been about companies that had great missions. That's always the way to pull me in, is to convince me of your mission. But on top of that, there's some very interesting tech and product problems that we have to solve in order to help people get jobs. Very interesting, very deep problems. And then on top of that, at Indeed, no one's going to ever hand you a spec at Indeed and say, implement this. What we're going to say is, here's a problem that we need to solve. We may give you an idea about how you might measure success against that problem, or we may say, tell us how you'll measure success. And then we say, go out and solve it. And finally, it's the environment. Indeed is just at the top of the pyramid for me. It's a group of people that care about solving problems like, how do we help people get jobs? It's a group of people that are really smart and experienced in their areas and are open with sharing their knowledge and their expertise. And, I've been in this industry. I started working at Apple in 1986, and for many years. And Indeed is at the top of the list of the great cultures that I've worked in. So that's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jordan, for sharing that with us. I had no idea that Indeed was the reason that as a job seeker, I don't pay, but the employer instead does. I mean, I did not realize that Indeed was behind that. And well, I'm glad you guys have that orange chair because it's clearly working. And yeah, thank you for sharing those stories and thank you for your time.